day trading has a very huge negative perspective to it. A lot of people think day trading is a scam. They definitely think day trading requires a ton of money to start. A lot of people think it's impossible to even be good at day trading. It's just not a thing that most normal day-to-day people do. That's why today we're going to talk about the 10 biggest lies about day trading, starting with the first one, which is day trading is simply gambling. Now, most people believe day trading is gambling simply because of they do not, first of all, understand what day trading is in the first place. Now, day trading obviously is just trading currencies, or you could be trading stocks, or you could be trading different assets. It is a thing that most people can't comprehend because a lot of people are used to seeing just day-to-day regular jobs, day-to-day tangible, you're actually doing something physical and money because you just get paid by your time, by your hour, right? But with day trading, you can see people making thousands of amount of dollars, right, in literally 5, 10, 15 minutes. And a lot of people just believe there's no way they're doing this consistently because the money is just so huge. Now, first of all, day trading isn't gambling, but you can gamble. But those who are doing this consistently, they no longer gamble because there has to be a system and a formula in place to do this day in, day out, day in, day out. Doing it for a week or a month is not even enough. You have to do this long enough to now say it's no longer gambling and you really know what you're doing. That's what separates the gamblers from those who are doing this constantly, from those who are doing this as a regular job. Me, myself, I don't work, right? So I simply rely on trading to actually bring my income. Trading, yes, with trading, you will lose money, you will make money, but overall, you just want to make more money than you're losing. Even if that means you're winning 52% of the time and you're losing 48% of the time, you're still making money overall because you're still winning more than you're losing. Or you're just making more money even though you lose more times. Now, the next thing people believe is trading is easy. This is also a lie to some degree. I would say trading isn't easy, just like any other job, any career, any path you're taking, you have to study. We go to university, you pay for those fees, you study for 2 years or 3 or 4 years, you get a degree, and then you go into your job. That isn't easy. Trading is the same thing. You go through the same thing, you work hard, and then eventually you become good. Why people say trading is easy is because, yes, someone can get lucky the first time. I got lucky. I remember when I first started back in 2022, I entered a trade and I made £500 in literally like 2 minutes because I entered a trade, didn't know what news was, but news, shut up and I made money. Boom. It seemed very easy on paper, but it wasn't easy. But I would say it's easy to start trading because you can make an account in 2 seconds and, begin trading, but it's not easy to be consistent. That's the aim of the game. Aim of the game is to make money every single week, but definitely at the end of every single month. That's the hard part, doing that consistently. So you might have got lucky once, can you get lucky the next time and the next time and the next day, every so often that you're doing this every single day. So is trading easy? No, trading is very, very hard, but it is the easiest money that you can make. Now, the next is trading requires a huge capital. This is a 50-50. This is kind of a lie, kind of not a lot. You can start trading honestly with $10. You can start trading with $100. You can start trading with a small amount, so you don't necessarily need that much money. Depending on what country you are, there's a bit of nuances to this, but if you're in another country, you're trading with $10, that $10 is a lot of money compared to what it is in your country, for example. But anyway, let's just keep it simple. To make good money that you can live by, yes, you definitely will need capital for sure, because to be a good trader, you want your risk to be consistent and you don't want to risk too much. So most people tend to say risk 1%. So 1% of $10 isn't making you too much money, but 1% of 1K is $10, but 1% of 100K is 1K. Yes, if you had 100K to trade with, now 1% is all you need to do to make 1K per day and you can be good. This is kind of the realm I'm at the moment. But if you increase that, I'm trying to get to that 500K trading, multiple accounts. I'm still kind of at the 100Ks account, but eventually I do want to make those 100Ks, 200Ks, and having multiple 200Ks, but I'm still at the 100K value that I'm used to and familiar with. So trading doesn't require huge capital to start. You can start literally with £1, honestly, or $10, but you do want huge capital to make consistent money. So it's technically a lie. You don't require actual huge amount of money just to start trading. As a beginner, you can start with any amount. But on the topic of actual capital, there is a way that you can actually get capital these days. That is what makes trading even easier technically than how we used to be back in the day. And this can be done with Propforms. Now, to find out what Propforms are, now Propforms are simply companies that will give you money once they know that you're a good trader by you proving to them that you can make certain percentages that they require in a month. In fact, you have a limited time to make that amount. Once you can show that, technically, that you can trade with, and they will pay you out the amount that you do make. Now, how do you find out these prop firms? You want to go on a website known as Propform Match. Propform Match is the best tool that you can use to find different prop firms with different, conditions and different rules that they have, and the different payouts that they've provided, the different spreads, different commissions. You want to go on Propform Match and search and see which one works for you, what rules do you prefer? Not all prop firms are also reputable, so you want to go and find out the ones that are trustworthy. You can look at the reviews, and Propform has over 5,000 reviews from different funded traders, so you can know what prop firms definitely people are going for, so you can obviously start with those ones as well. And you can easily get these Propform accounts instead of using your own money. You can actually easily get these accounts with less money, because Propform, go on there, you will find discount codes as well, the latest discount codes that you can use on there, so you can actually get these accounts at a much more affordable price. There's a lot more that we can see on Propform. This can be an entire video on its own, but do check out Propform. The link will be below. Trust me, it's one of the best platforms, probably the only platform that is good for this. You want to make sure you use it every single time. I use it day to day myself. Definitely check it out. It's worth your time. Now for the next slide, people do believe many indicators, because they have seen images, crazy images of people having crazy lines on their charts, just insane things that looks like something that is not even from this world. Trading does not have to be complicated. I like to say that many content creators, many mentors like to complicate trading just so it's hard for you and you can keep relying on them. I think that's kind of the case. You can tell me if I'm wrong. Me personally though, I keep it very simple so you can learn and eventually go and do it by yourself, right? It is nice, obviously, to keep people on, and that's how people make money. I understand why people do it. Trading doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need 10,000 indicators in your charts. Keep trading simple, and I promise you, it'll make your life 10 times easier, make your system extremely simple. In fact, I don't really use too many indicators. I believe you shouldn't use too many. There are some that you can use, for example, the EMA. That's something that I do like. It's something that makes sense. It's not something that was just created by somebody out of thin air just because they want to make some kind of strategy and they want people to get these indicators. So just keep it simple, right? Indicators, just use the ones that make clear sense. You shouldn't rely on an indicator. Whatever the indicator does, I would say you want to be able to do it yourself. The indicator just helps to make your life a lot easier, so maybe you don't have to think about that thing anymore, but you do have the knowledge of it in case the indicator no longer exists. That's what I would say, but you don't need pretty much any indicator at all to actually trade. So talking about indicators, people do also say that indicators do not work. Indicators definitely do work. This is definitely a huge lie. I do understand that some people make indicators fully just for a strategy and all you do is follow them. I even tried this before. I made a video in the past just using indicators and using a bot and stuff, and trying that out, seeing how it works. You will make money here and there, but I like to say that the real how something works in trading is, can you do it long enough, right? 6 months, 1 year, give or take. If you can't, then technically you're just kind of getting lucky at that moment. So indicators, they might work here and there. They might give you buy signals. People love those, and it might work from time to time, but eventually it doesn't really make sense. And they don't tend to work in real time. They tend to follow trends anyway. So anything following a trend will, it's just basics, right? If prices just shooting up, it might tell you to buy. It doesn't really tell you to put your stop loss. Anyway, let's not go too much on a tangent. Do indicators work? I would say generally they don't, but there are some that work. There are some, like EMAs and stuff, these are still indicators. Indicators that tell you to buy and sell. I guess maybe if you make it to exactly how your strategy is, technically it works. So technically it's a lie, because some at least do work. But overall, most of them don't really serve the purpose. They don't really work how they should. So you don't really need indicators. Now, the next is high leverage equals big profits. So leverage is basically using money that you don't have. For example, most brokers might offer 1 to 100 leverage. All this simply means is that you are trading $100. That $100 you times it by 100. So technically you can trade like you are 100K account. Is that $100 times 100? I think someone correct me, apologies for the maths, but you're working with a bigger account that you don't technically have. So you can put risk on the line than the money you're actually working with. So technically, yes, high leverage does equal high profits. So I would say this isn't really a lie too much. I mean, high leverage equals high profits. I do think so. Just maybe the gray area to this, profits at the end of the day is probably talking about multiple trades. So if you keep doing high leverage, I do promise you there will be a time when everything is GG's and you're going to blow that account. So good risk management with high leverage, it's not really going to happen. If you're using super high leverage over risking, you probably have bad risk management. So you're going to eventually pack that up and there'll be no profits left for you. Now, the next line on the list is demo trading is useless. This one is definitely a lie. Demo trading is very, very important. When I'm mentoring people, I definitely make every single one of them go through that stage. You have to go through that stage so I can see, can you handle risk management? Can you handle dealing with live markets? The only way to experience the live markets, the live charts, is by either using a demo or using your actual money. Why risk your actual money that I can guarantee you will blow as a beginner? It happens to everybody. I don't know anybody who just woke up from the womb, watched a couple of videos and learned straight away, and instantly they were just doing fantastic in profit. Most people will lose money at the beginning. So literally start with demo. Practice on there, get a feel of the market, understand your strategy, back test a ton, forward test a ton. So whilst you're gathering all this data to see how your performance is, just like any sport, you practice, you train, it is all the same thing. You want to do this in a training ground. That's what demo is. You practice in a training ground, right? Training grounds exist in everything for a reason. It's like saying a training ground essential, right? This is definitely a lie. Make sure you spend time in that training ground stage, in that demo phase, so you actually know you're prepared before going into live. Otherwise, you might as well just take your money and dash it down the drain, because that's pretty much what you're going to be doing. The next is placing many trades equals more profits. Hey, this is going to get you in big trouble. Just basic maths. If you're placing trades, if you're in a losing trade and you're placing more of those same trades, you're just going to be in more loss. So placing many trades does not mean you're going to earn more. Placing many trades literally means nothing. You can enter one trade and that one trade can be a higher lot size, so it means more money. At the same time, taking many trades in a day also just means you're risking too much capital, because you're exposing yourself to the market way too much in one day, so you can lose more. That's exactly why you see people make 1K on a trade, they take a second trade, they lose 1K, and then they take the third trade, they lose another 1K, now they're down 1K, they get frustrated, the next trade they lose another 1K. Now from a positive, they've gone down 2K, and from there, depending on who you are, you lose your screws and you say, you know what, this next trade, this is the one, I'm gonna double down. Now you lose another 2K, you're down 4K, everything's gone to, you get like, that's literally how quickly taking 3, 4, 5 trades can turn horribly. So taking more trades does not mean you earn more. It probably just means that you're revenge trading. Next on the list is you cannot trade by yourself. You can trade by yourself. You don't need a friend. You don't need to, it's a solo, honestly, it's a solo job personally. Like, this is something I do by myself. This is something I technically started by myself. Everyone goes through it. I think trading is a solo thing. Yes, you can do it as a group and stuff. That does help. I think that maybe holds you accountable. There's benefits to that as well. But if we're looking at plain and simple trading, can you do it by yourself? Yes, you most definitely can do it by yourself. Doesn't need to be something you need somebody else for, but it is good to have a mentor. If you're talking about the learning stage, then yes, it's essential to have a mentor. I would say it would make your life a lot easier. I wish I did. It would make your life so much easier. You'll save so much more money, save so much more time. You can do it by yourself, but it's better to have somebody to help you. And next, trading is a scam. Oof. This one we hear every single day. It is just, it's like music in my ears at this point, right? Trading is a scam. You're a scam. Everything's scam. I've never heard scam so much in my life until the past, like, since I started trading, bro. Scam, 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 scam. And there's no amount of evidence you're going to provide that you'll still be called scam, right? You can show cash. They'll say the cash is fake. You can show withdrawals. They'll tell you withdrawals is fake. You can trade and make the money live. They'll tell you you're faking something. Your phone is fake. Is trading a scam? Trading is not a scam. People do this for a living. I'm telling you, people do this for a living. Yes, I do understand the industry very much. It is a scammy industry. I do understand as people are shady. I've seen it with my own eyes. Most things can be fake, but that is why something like futures is this. Futures is a bit more regulated. You can trade on this technically a bit better than Forex anyway, but trading overall isn't a scam, right? There's different forms of trading. It's not really a scam. You just have to do it the right way, you know, just have some dignity. I don't know. But overall, trading is not a scam. It can definitely be legit. But that's my take on this. If you have any other thoughts, do let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.